Say hello to Doomfist, the laughingstock of Overwatch. Since his release in July of 2017, the hero has been hated by the vast majority of the community, and even the unlucky players who decided to put countless hours into mastering his kit largely regret their decision. It almost seems as though the developers hate Doomfist too, because glitches with every part of his gameplay have been overlooked for years, combining with the countless nerfs to create a completely miserable experience for every gamer who plays him. And so by popular demand, I've finally dedicated a full video to discussing Doomfist's many bugs that affect his normal gameplay. I'll be covering many of the glitches referenced in the Hydra, a bug list maintained by the amazing duo of Get Quaked On and Cream. This video would be absolutely impossible to create without the clips and explanations in the Hydra. All of the credit goes to GQO and Cream, as well as the other contributors to the list, for the countless hours they spent studying and recreating the many interactions that Doomfist has with both other heroes and map geometry. Please consider checking out their work and supporting them in any way possible. Before we dive straight into the bugs and their explanations, we need to first establish a scale for both the severity of the glitches and how easy they are to replicate. Both scales will range from 1 to 5 inclusive, with 1 being the more positive side from a gameplay perspective. This means that bugs with a low severity ranking don't impact Doomfist gameplay in any fashion, while glitches with a rating of 4 or 5 make the character nearly unplayable. Similarly, a smaller number on the replication scale indicates that the interaction is incredibly rare and hard to recreate, with higher values implying easier replication and more common occurrence in normal games. The bugs in this video are also grouped into sections so you can easily navigate to the specific topics you'd like to learn more about. In total, Doomfist currently has a whopping 50 active bugs, 36 of which will be discussed in this video due to their impact on normal Doomfist gameplay. Now let's get started. Many heroes have a favor the shooter mechanic that allows them to hit shots or abilities with more consistency while on higher latency. Doomfist's punch does not have this mechanic, causing his punch to occasionally phase through enemy hitboxes without dealing damage. Typically, Doomfist's punch should be stopped after impacting Mei's cryo-freeze. However, under certain timing constraints, punches will slide around the cryo-freeze instead. Impacting certain geometry can cause Doomfist to be sent very far upwards after an empowered punch. It seems as though being affected by knockback can exaggerate the effects of this bug. After emoting, being stunned, or a number of other situations, Doomfist's punch charging animation can look extremely slow. This happens very commonly in replay codes and highlights as well. A visual bug can occur sometimes that applies Doomfist's punch cancel animation to a successful impact on an enemy. Currently the cause is unknown, although the look of Doomfist pulling away his punch after a completely fine impact can be distracting. The blast back effect on a Doomfist punch is intended to deal AoE damage, knockback, and stuns to enemies nearby a punch target. However, enemies affected by blastback temporarily gain immunity to the effect, allowing them to survive if a second punch is charged in quick succession to the first. In Season 1, it was found that the blastback AoE zone shifts wherever Doomfist is looking during a punch, allowing enemies to evade punches that would otherwise hit, and vice versa, enemies that would otherwise dodge the punch can also be hit if Doomfist flicks his camera towards them. After the mid-season patch during Season 4, it was discovered that Doomfist's punch does not cancel Winston's jump. This is inconsistent with all other stuns in the game that cause the ability to fully be cancelled. If Doomfist and his punch target are both standing on a pedal platform as it moves upward, the punch will yield inconsistent results. Some cases result in the Doomfist phasing through his punch target, in other instances the punch will be stopped by the pedal without impacting the enemy. Similarly to the interactions with pedal platform, Doomfist's punch has the chance to be stopped entirely while rising on a Mei wall, or it can cause him to phase through his punch target. Punches also have the chance to work completely normally on Mei's wall, making the outcomes of these situations very hard to predict. While writing the script for this video, a new hotfix was released that patched many of the abilities that previously ignored the effects of Doomfist's punch while casting. However, in regular Blizzard fashion, this patch created a multitude of new bugs when it comes to players being immune to punch during ability casting. The new list of bugged abilities includes Baptiste's Regen Burst, Lucio's Amp, Ramatra's Vortex, Zenyatta's Secondary Fire, and much more. While controlling his Riptire, Junkrat is sometimes immune to the knockback of Doomfist's punch. He takes the punch damage 100% of the time, but the knockback is very inconsistent at best. Enemies standing near ledges have a small chance to dodge Doomfist's slam when it would otherwise damage them. This issue has persisted since early in Doomfist's history. It stems from how the game evaluates if a player is in the air or on the ground. If a Doomfist slam lands near a corner, there is the potential for it to deal no damage across its entire area of effect. The workings of this glitch are less understood than the other slam registration issues. Doomfist's slam seems to still have small holes that allow constructs like Sombra's Translocator to be immune to its damage. Landing a slam on top of a Symmetra or Torbjorn turret has the chance to completely cancel the effects and damage of that slam. Another hit registration issue that has stuck with Slam since Doomfist was first released, Air Slam occurs when Doomfist lands at the edge of a ledge, causing the game to think he is still airborne. The slam will deal no damage in these scenarios. Sometimes the animation for Slam landing and its actual area of effect will desync if the Doomfist uses Symmetra's teleporter at the right time. Slam consistently fails to break otherwise breakable objects like railings if those objects are directly attached to an unbreakable anchoring object. If a slam lands on a pedal platform that isn't on the ground, the damage and effects of the slam will be completely voided. Slam will also fail to register if both the Doomfist and his slam target are on a rising May wall. Power Block normally functions if the Doomfist is looking at the source of the damage, although for some abilities you need to be looking at the player instead so the block can function. The abilities that cause this weird view angle interaction include Ana's Primary Fire and Nade, Zarya's Grav, and Ramatra's Vortex. Additionally, if an enemy Doomfist uses his slam, then takes a teleporter right before the damage reaches your power block, you will receive the full damage. Reinhardt's Earth Shatter and Junker Queen's Knife also ignore power block through the same teleporting technique. When Doomfist is blocking, damage he blocks will have an audio filter applied, however this filter activates no matter which direction he takes the damage from and if he actually blocks it or not. If Doomfist casts his ultimate while under the influence of Orissa's Terra Surge pulling effect, the effect will persist even when he completely enters his ultimate. During this time, Doomfist is unable to control the targeting camera. When approaching small ledges from a 45-degree angle or greater, Doomfist's ultimate will become briefly stuck. Doomfist's ultimate becomes noticeably slower when traveling up slopes with a 45-degree angle or more. If you use the top-down view while in your ult, you can avoid this bug. Meteor Strike is completely unable to travel through this doorway on the third objective of King's Row. Many pieces of geometry across every map in the game can cause the camera of Doomfist's ultimate to jitter around or through surfaces, displaying inaccurate locations for where the ultimate will land. This bug can be incredibly jarring in some extreme circumstances. On some slanted surfaces, Doomfist's hero model might become briefly disorganized when he's hitting the ground after his ultimate. One of the older unpatched bugs is this glitch with Doomfist's ultimate timer, which will stay on the screen after Doomfist gets either stunned out of his Meteor Strike or he dies mid-cast. The top-down view for Meteor Strike allows Doomfist to target enemies on pedal platforms, but if you switch to the third-person view, your camera will fall down to the ground below. When a shield bash from Brig collides with a punch from Doomfist, both characters fall to the ground in a stalemate. However, Brig can activate this stalemate for a brief period after her bash, allowing her to damage Doomfist for free while also knocking him down. It seems as though this location on New Queen Street forces slam no-regs with incredibly high rates of consistency when compared to all other areas. Similar spots have existed in Overwatch Classic. Normally, heroes that impact the Busan train are instantly killed, although when Doomfist punches them into the train, they will survive. If Doomfist dies after obtaining overhealth, the first ability he uses after respawning will apply a marginally incorrect amount of overhealth. Because a player's health bar uses convoluted rounding techniques to display current HP, this bug might not always be apparent to the player. If you've made it to the end of the video, you can be sure that you understand the pain of Doomfist mains. If you're still interested in learning about more Doomfist bugs, however, you can check out the Hydra document, join my Discord, and follow GetQuakedOn's channels. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.